Today we are going to discuss about a most important topic, how we have to identify that is a poisonous snake as well as the non-poisonous snake. Okay, so as we may be aware, like if you see the snakes, they have a cylindrical body, even they have a long as well as limbless organism, and they are cold-blooded reptiles. Okay, we have around 3,500 species of snakes are there, among which 350 species which are considered as the venomous, and in India we have around 216 species are found, among them 52 species which are what, which are the poisonous in nature. Okay, so in this topic we are going to discuss, so once if those poisonous snakes are there, how we have to carefully examining them, whether are they are poisonous snake or they are non-poisonous snakes. Okay, so we have a several bases on which we can able to confirm whether this snake is a poisonous as well as this snake is a non-poisonous. So in this slide you can see we have six various features which have been mentioned here. So on that basis only we are going to categorize them as whether they are a poisonous or they are a non-poisonous snake. The first and foremost category which is mentioned under the topic is nature of the snake bite, and the second one based on the nature of the tail, and the third one based on the nature of ventrals, fourth one is based on the nature of the scales on the head, and the fifth basis is based on the subcaudal scales, and the sixth one is nature of vertebrals. Okay, so these are the six various features by which we can confirm whether the snake is a venomous or the non-venomous snake. First of all, let us start up with the based on the nature of the snake bite, how we can able to differentiate whether the snake is a poisonous one or it is a non-poisonous one. Okay, for example, as soon as the snake bite, we are examining if there is around one or two punctures if it is observed on the skin. So now we can consider whether the snake is venomous or non-venomous. So once if there are one or two punctures are available on the skin, obviously that snake will be a venomous or it may be a poisonous. Okay, so if at all if you look it up, so instead of having two or three like bites or two or three punctures, if there is some kind of scratches if they are available, or you can see some kind of punctures which are many, I mean multiple in nature, then 100% those type of snakes are non-venomous in nature. Okay, and similarly, apart from the nature of the bite or apart from the nature of fangs which you can observe by for classifying whether it's a venomous snake or it's a non-venomous snake, we can also go with there are other similar features. For example, after the snake bite, if we look it up, so if there is a continuous oozing of blood occurs from that wound, we can now confirm that particular snake is a poisonous one. Okay, at the same time, if there is a blood stop after a certain period of time, we can confirm it is a non-venomous or non-poisonous snake here. Okay, so this is regarding the nature of the snake bite, how we can able to categorize whether this snake is a venomous or poisonous or it is a non-poisonous snake here. Okay, now second thing which we are going to discuss under the topic is based on the nature of the tail. Okay, so based on observation or the nature of the tail, how we can confirm this particular snake is a venomous or non-venomous. In this particular, that is a PPT or a slide, you can see that if the tail of the snake should be observed first. Whenever when the snake bite, you have to observe for the tail. Okay, if the tail of the snake is flat, if it is laterally compressed, and if it is oar shape. Okay, so this is for a feature of a snake. So if it is a oar shape, flat, laterally compressed, it is a nature which occurs in case of the sea snakes. And one more important feature here is all the sea snakes are poisonous in nature. Okay, so and now the body it is also covered by means of the small scales on the dorsal portion of the sea snakes. The body it is covered by means of the small scales here. For example, if you see hydrophis in enhydrina, these are the snakes which are considered as the venomous in nature. Okay, similarly, if you observe, if the tail ends bluntly, I mean if it is not flat, it is not laterally compressed, it is not oar shape. Instead of that, if the tail is ending with bluntly, then we can confirm it is a non-venomous in nature, that is non-poisonous in nature. Okay, but if the tail is rounded or cylindrical, at the same time if it is pointed, we cannot confirm whether it is a poisonous snake or it is a non-poisonous snake. Then we have to go for the other characteristic feature. Okay, so similarly, if it is round, cylindrical or pointed, so it may be a poisonous or it may be a non-poisonous in nature. Okay, so that is the reason. So here with this feature we cannot confirm, we have to go for the another nature. The next thing which we are going to discuss here, it is about based on the nature of ventrals. Now we are going to confirm whether it is a poisonous or non-poisonous nature here. Okay, so ventrals are nothing but there are some kind of shield like structure which covers the portion of the snake body, particularly in the ventral position of the snake. So for example, if you have observed that the snake tail is round and it is not compressed, the snake tail is round, it is not compressed, so we cannot confirm that with it is a poisonous snake. Okay, so then what we do, we just check what type of ventrals do they have, what type of scales which are present in the ventral side of the trunk region. Okay, for example, if the ventrals are small at the same time if it is narrow, then we can confirm it is a non-poisonous snake here. Okay, so in the next slide you can see if the same snake, whereas where you can see if you have observed the tail, it is what? Tail, it is round. But unfortunately, you can see that if the ventrals are broad in nature, but it has not extended completely across the belly part. It has not extended completely across the belly part. Okay, so then we can confirm that this particular snake is non-poisonous in nature. Okay, at the same time, if you see if the ventrals are broad, if the ventrals are broad but extending completely across the belly, so earlier which we have discussed, do not extend completely across the belly, then we can confirm it is a non-venomous. But if the ventrals are broad but they are completely crossing the, I mean they are completely just surfacing the belly, then it may be a poisonous or it may be a non-poisonous. By that particular three different pictures which I have mentioned there, you can confirm. Like the first picture which is showing the scales are smaller, so then we can confirm it is a poisonous one. The second one which it has been shown like it is fairly what? That is fairly broad in nature. It is not completely covering the trunk region. Then we can say it is a non-poisonous. But the last diagram or the picture here it is shown, they are broad and they are completely encircling the belly part. So we cannot confirm whether it is a poisonous or non-poisonous. So we have to look it up. The next characteristic feature based on the nature of scales are the shield which are present on the surface of the head. Okay, so now we have observed the tail of the snake and the tail of the snake is round and the ventrals are also broad. Okay, so then we cannot confirm, so we have to examine the head of the snake here. Okay, so if the head of the snake is triangular and if it is covered with a small scales and not with a shield, if it is triangular and covered with a small scales but it is not with a shield, then we can consider it is a viper snake. We can consider it is a viper snake. So we know that all the vipers are poisonous in nature. Okay, so now we can confirm it is a poisonous snake. But there are vipers we have, some of them are pit vipers, some of them they have non-pit vipers. We call it them as pit vipers and pitless vipers. Okay, in pit vipers you can see between the eye as well as the nostril there is a loreal pit will be there. So particularly this organ it has been helpful for the thermoreceptor. Okay, similarly we have a pitless viper where there is no loreal pit will be available between the eye as well as the nostril. Okay, so now we are coming to the conclusion whether it is a poisonous or non-poisonous snake. Apart from that one, we also look up the caudals, like what we call it as here subcaudal. If that subcaudals are two rows and there is no loreal pit, then the snake is Russell's viper. It's not a pitless viper, it is a Russell's viper. Okay, so now we can see in the next slide these details have been given. So now we have to look up the last part, I mean the last nature of the snake where we can confirm it is a poisonous or non-poisonous. That is a vertebrals. That is a vertebrals. For example, if the head is covered with a shield, head is covered with a shield but not with a small scale, okay, it may be again a poisonous or non-poisonous. Then we have to look it up the vertebrals. Then we have to look it up the vertebrals. Vertebrals are nothing but there are some scales which are present along the mid dorsal line on their back. So if the vertebrals are large and if they are hexagonal, it is a crate and it is highly poisonous in nature. Similarly, if the subcaudals are present in a single row in a crate, it is single row, then we can consider this particular snake is a Bungarus. Okay, so in the next slide, we are going to discuss about if the vertebrals are not large, then examine the supralabial shield. Then you can see for supralabial shield. Okay, so if the third supralabial shield touches the nasal shield and the eye, it is either a cobra or it is a coral snake. So both cobra as well as coral snakes are poisonous. Okay, so by observing all these features, whatever we have been mentioned in those slides, we can confirm whether it is a poisonous or non-poisonous snake. Thank you.